Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with day 4 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life and the day 4 prompt from Scraptember. And there are no other challenges going on here. And I'm hoping that this one can be a fairly quick one. I've decided to do this one somewhat minimalist in that I'm not going to use any ephemera or any stickers or any embellishments other than washi and flare and sequins, and maybe some splatters. And if I do use splatters, I'll use this. I'm going with blues. I thought about trying to color match his shirt, and this sequin mix came up because it has that kind of peachy color, and I may actually throw a couple of those in with the blues, but I'm mainly going with blues. Dotty About Flair had a new release announced yesterday, and I had, being on the design team, I had an advance copy of it. And so one of my favorite sets was this one that's called All the Blues. And so I'm going to maybe use the entire set on here. The sketch has circles and stars. I'm going to go with hearts instead of the circles and flare instead of the stars. And I will use washi tape, and here where there's rickrack and some various elements, I'm going to use different washi tapes. And I have washi tape that actually came on my little packets of flare from my very first flare shipment from Dotty About Flair, and I have saved it because this washi tape is absolutely gorgeous. I may do some ripping or something to get it a little bit longer, I'm not quite sure. I may fussy cut the hearts out of this pink tape, but we'll see what happens. So it all started with this photo. As you know, I lost my husband recently, and this past August would have been our 40th wedding anniversary. So Facebook does these wonderful things naturally on any trips or celebrations that we've had on our anniversary. I put those out on Facebook, and Facebook likes to send me little reminders. So I've gotten all kinds of, kind of refreshers about photos that were taken on anniversary trips. And this one was to Hilton Head Island in 2010. It was our 29th anniversary, and we hadn't lived in Georgia for very long, and we'd neither of us had done much traveling along the East Coast. So Hilton Head was one of those places we wanted to go, so we did that then. That was our first trip there. We've been there a few times since. So this was the photo. I forget what I printed. I measured the size. Actually, I measured the size of this heart, and I intended for it to be, and it probably would have, except this thing would have been right across his little forehead, and I didn't want to do that. So I actually put the photo in the big heart. This was a 12 by 12 cut file. And the other part of that heart was kind of, I think, like right there. And I decided, I knew I was going to kind of scooch it up to the side of the page like this. And so I just, traced it and cut it, put it on there, put some foam behind it, and I put foam backing to raise this up in places where I'm going to be putting flare. And I will cut these little ends off at some point after the layout's constructed. So I kind of dry fit it. I put it on here and kind of laid the flare there, and drew little arrows where I wanted the washi tape, because the washi tape's going to have to go on underneath this. So I'm going to kind of do this and kind of look at what washi tape I want there, And I'm going to go with one of these gold glittered ones, which doesn't have to be too long, but I'm going to rip it, and I'm going to use both pieces of it but kind of a little bit cattywampus of one another, kind of like that. And then here I'll have one piece of, I think I'll go with this, and I'll use the whole piece, and it's just going to kind of go underneath and stick out on both sides. Let's see, I want this, that's kind of the placement there. So right here, I want another piece coming out. I'm gonna, I think I may use another one of these. I think this pink gold that's on there is just so beautiful, and I think it's going to look really good. So here's one where I could rip it and use one piece on one side and the other piece on the other side. And then the flare will kind of be in the middle. And then over here, I cut another piece of the cut file, and I plan for it to go here. And I want the washi tape. I'm going to use the longest one I have of this. Have it there. So Adam, thank you very much for this gorgeous washi tape. Do that. And then that. Now, I think I may be ready to go ahead and put glue the cut file down. I'm going to do this little one on the right because it's smaller and hopefully will be a little bit easier to do. And we'll see how that works. I have to match this. Okay, there is how that's going to go, and I'm going to use the two flares that are that have hearts on them over on that one side. And there's no particular reason for that, except that one is, excuse me, white on blue. The other one is blue on white. And it just is a nice contrast. Not sure which one's going to go where. Let's see what looks best. The white one may look good there, and this one, that'll work. And I'm going to have foam on top of foam, so it's going to kind of stand up. But I'm going to do some embellishing with sequins around the flare, and I'll kind of, I thought about doing thread beds for the flare, and ended up deciding, okay, I'm gonna put some tape back there, that's going to determine where it goes up next to the thing. And I'm going to have to take at least one off, but I'm going to try not to let that touch because this needs to be exact, whereas that has some leeway. Okay, now I should be able to peel these off. I know there's a lot of contrast, and like I said, I've lately been really enjoying a white on white look with cut files, and I had my little mat here ready to lay it down and do some inking, either spray or just inking with an applicator to make it black or dark gray and give it that kind of contrast. But I decided that I'd probably prefer the white on white. Okay, I'm going to use this one up here. No particular reason. I kind of want to vary the patterns. I'll go, since that one's dotted, I'll use a striped one here. And then I'll use the X's and O's right here. This photo is of him doing that little thing that he did. Every now and then I'd look up and he'd catch my eye and he'd pucker up his lips and kind of do little air kisses. And I don't know, it's just one of those funny, sweet things that he did. And I didn't know I'd ever gotten a picture of it. And this came up in my memories. And it just kind of course it made me cry. But then it really made me smile, a big old smile, and kind of reinforced what an awesome guy he was. Okay, so I have a couple strips of journaling, which I'm going to go ahead and put down. I'm going to, because I don't want to put sequins, and then, so that's there. And then I thought I'd do this here across this heart. Okay, now I'm wondering if I could, let's see what happens. I'm going to leave the tiniest pink edge around this because I want to preserve the shape of the heart itself. I'm going to do that just to get rid of it, keep it from sticking to my scissors. I have done some fussy cutting of images out of washi tape. When I was trying to go for a small, you know, when you have to crowd in a lot of points on a Calvin ball layout, for example, sometimes you want something that's just really small. Let me get this. There's a lot of there's a high rag content in this printer paper, the photo paper. And that is cute, but I kind of want it up. It's okay for it to stick to the heart, but I don't want it to stick to the background. Okay. Excuse me. So that's kind of cute, but I don't think I need any more than one. I'm looking for any little junk in my crazy box that would work. And I'm thinking maybe I'll use this wood title. I discovered this in a box of things I was planning to use for Calvin Ball. Okay, I've got an H-A-P. I need another P and a Y. I found the Y. And I know there's another P in here somewhere. I'm just going to start pulling things off. This is a legitimate crazy bowl, and you probably recognize a lot of these things from recent layouts. Okay, there it is. Okay, and that kind of gives me how about if I do it this way? That works. There, because it kind of brings the weight down. If I were to move it up here, there's a little more white space surrounding it. So I think I might like that better. So we'll just glue this puppy down, and I'm going to fret over this because I know I'm going to get the letters crooked. And these, because they're kind of linear and in design, I really want them, they're not organic at all, so I really want them straight. Okay, so let's get the H straight first of all, then we'll build everything else on that. And I thought I might, I'm not sure how I'm going to do the sequins. I need to stand up and make sure that that's straight. Okay. And I get an interesting bird's eye view from up here. I'm just putting a little bit of glue so that if I do need to rip them off or move them for any reason, there's not a lot of glue that has to come into. This is definitely shaping up to be fairly minimalist kind of page, and I'm not sure why that particular sketch struck me as something that I wanted to do in a minimalist style. It's more that I don't want to lose the shapes in the cut file. Okay, that looks reasonably straight. Okay. And you know my answer too, if it isn't straight, I'll just pile a bunch of sequins around it and make it look like that's part of the design. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do little groupings of sequins, or little trios of them. And this is a Spiegel Mom Scraps mix designed for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club. And it has a couple blues, a couple different sizes of blue, but the big attraction is it has that rose gold color that's in the washi. So I can bring that in. There's this. It's actually, it looks pink, but on the underside, it looks rose gold. I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I've got a large blue one here. And let me see if I can raise this up. Okay. Let me put the glue on the cut file, and then I can raise it up. And I may be able to tuck a little tiny piece of foam tape underneath there once this glue has dried. Okay, there. Now, I'm going to dip into this little bucket of sequins, which has some pretty blues, and I'm going to kind of blend in one of these holographic ones, maybe with some of those from the Spiegel Mom mix. There and here. And these are the exact blues that are in there. And I'm going to get this little small dark blue. Okay, there. And I'm going to go here. I may do just a single one up here on the washi tape. And I'm going to go with that pink that I used before. And over here, I'll do a couple. One up on this journaling. And then I think I'll do one that I haven't used, which is just this blue metallic right here on the washi. Okay, and here I'm gonna dip into this one. This is another Spiegel Mom mix called Mermaid Fiesta, and it has a really nice variety of blues. There's this one, and then this light one, and then that same dark blue that's in this mix. And I'm going to try to kind of keep those off to the side. I'm going to put one of these here. Get that small one there, and I'm going to use this really big one up there. And then this is a holographic, and it's also kind of a little bit lighter blue, more of a teal even. But it still reads as a blue, I think. Okay, and then up here, I wanted to use one of these that's the same color as his shirt. So I'm gonna put that there, and I'm gonna use this holographic kind of teal. What did I do with it? Here we go. And then I will pull the metallic blue from here. So I'll do those 3. I think I'll do the peachy one kind of right inside the heart. I'll do the 2 others on the outside, here and here. Okay, 3 more. I'm going to pull the, well, I've got the, I'll pull the holographic teal up here, and then I'm going to pick 2 from here. That blue, because it's so close to the blues in there, and then I'll pull this holographic blue, if I can grab hold of it. Okay, so there. One here, and one up there. And I'm gonna go ahead and move this one there because it's so close. I'll do this one here, maybe a little closer there. And this one down there. Okay, so I'm done. I am happy with the look. I'm considering splatters, and if I do, I want to be sure and cover that bit and do my splatters kind of there, and maybe try to do some larger ones. Just drawing them with the tip of the sprayer there. And this is a stain, so it really soaks beautifully right into the paper. I'm doing that carefully so as not to get it on the journaling. Let's see how that looks. Okay, and maybe a few right here. I also don't want to get it on the cut file. Okay, I'm good. and I'm going to call this one done. So I've used just kind of brand new things, and that the flares are brand new. This has been around in my stash for probably 5 years or more. The washi tape came in some packaging, and the sequins are, there's one new mix, the Mermaid Fiesta, and the other two mixes are older. So I've used up some stash that I kind of had lying around, and I've made a page that documents a precious thing that he did and that we had. So I'm happy with the page. You know what I think I need? You know, one of those great big old sequins. It would be good for it to cover up. You know, I don't need it. I don't need it. But after the film stops, I may do it. So I'm going to go cut this off, but I'm going to do it very carefully, and I'll do it off camera because I put myself under a little too much pressure there. So thank you for watching, and I will be doing, later today, I will be doing day 1. Just got my sewing machine fixed or back from the repair shop, and so I'm going to try to do this stitching. And you know me, I hate triangles, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we'll see. And I think I have 3 of the same photo, but I've filtered it different and cropped it different ways. So I'm hoping that turns out okay. So I'll see you later this afternoon. Bye.